This is on tip-top condition.
TikTok.
TikTok condition, absolutely. Johnson water?
Well, I've been drinking them water. I'm wondering if that's making it problematic. I've been eating some cheese as well. Is cheese supposed to...
Cheese.
Is it phlegm-inducing?
Dairy is bad for the vocal cords.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it? That's sloppy work. It's really unprofessional of me, and Sammy quickly rectified things with some glamorous vocalising.
Well, I'm ultra common and have had a chest infection all week, so I've got a sexy rattle going on as opposed to a husk.
Wow, so it's only Rufus here who can speak proper.
Pretty much. Shall I just run the show for now?
Well, you pretty much do anyway, me old pal. Well, listen, today it's okay because we're not going to be speaking as heavily as in previous weeks. I've decided to get back to basics, to rebrand the show, get back to its core values, which is about music.
I love music.
Yeah, I know, I'm a big fan of music, and if you like music, and particularly new music, then this is the show to listen to, and this is, of course, the station to stay tuned to for all of those things. Because, yeah, we've been drifting away. We've been coming a little bit showbiz, a bit DLT in past weeks. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but I feel like we should become a little bit more culturally upmarket, which is why later in the show I've invited a friend of mine down. He's going to be coming in and he's going to be talking about books. Alright, because there's nothing more highbrow than books. Yes, exactly.
I'm terrified.
I doubt you've read a book, Har. Sammy, you've probably never heard of one. Rufus, of course, has read everything, but only English literature, I suspect. No, you're foreign muck. And so I thought it'd be nice, particularly off the back of the Bookers, to the Booker Awards, which you may or may not have heard of, to talk about books and just sort of step things up a gear, because, as I say, I think we've been dumbing down on this show. That's, the BBC is already being accused of that left, right and centre. It's not for us to do that. So let's be a bit more upmarket, let's be a bit more classy on the show. And obviously, if you want to check out the website, you can still enter our mystery photo competition, bums or boobs. But yeah, we'll have some hives. We'll come back. We'll talk a bit more. But yeah, it's all about music. The Hives on the Steve Show BBC Six Music from their new album, the Black and White album. That is Hey Little World. And so here we are back again, exploring new music and old. Don't be afraid of old music, guys. As I've said it before, I'll say it again. New music is music you've not heard before, and it's a phrase which has not caught on in the slightest. It hasn't. I don't think it's even mentioned on the Steve Show website. I'd love to see it on there on the webpage. Yeah. It's not there. But who knows? I've often tried to coin catchphrases. Yahoo-ha was one of them. Never caught on.
Yahoo-ha?
Yeah, in the stand-up days. Yahoo-ha. Nothing. No.
Like, so you've told a joke, it's not gone down well.
Yeah.
Yahoo-ha!
Exactly. In the hope that, what do you mean I've told a joke, it's not gone down well?
Well, I'm just speculating.
Heaven forfend. No, yeah, so it's frustrating that hasn't caught on. Talking of catchphrases, of course, we've got another one. Don't give it to me, I'll only drop it. Nervous Man, who is in Sammy's photography class, is he still there?
Well, we were working on aperture this week, so we were taking photos of dominoes.
Okay.
And we were having to push the dominoes over.
Nice.
And it took a lot of pushing the dominoes over, and we did it for a good 2 hours. But he got a fright every time.
I bet he did. Every time they started clunking down?
Every time they went over, he got a little fright.
Of course he did. And how does that manifest itself? A little wobble, a little sort of throaty wobble?
It's a kind of constant noise, like... when
a whine? Some kind of whine?
Yeah, like you've got an animal when it's sore and it just doesn't stop making noise, or a baby when it's just...
Really?
Just, yeah.
That's extraordinary. And the constant stench from the hobo,
who has cut off all his hair, head and facial.
Oh, I love it when they do that. I love it when they do that. When tramps start afresh.
Right.
They think, get it all off. Get it all off.
Who's got an opinion on when tramps start afresh? Do tramps start afresh?
Have you not seen it? Because their beards grow. Obviously, they don't shave every day. They're not like me. They don't have homes, a lot of them.
Sure, often why they're called homeless people.
Yeah, and every few months, sometimes all the hair off and all the beard off. And then they look like, like Dan Dare for about a day and a half, and then they just go back to becoming...
But surely that's just harder work, shaving off all that growth. If they just did it every day like you and me, they'd been a lot better.
Lazy. That's part of the reason they haven't got a job.
Exactly.
But where do they find street and get one of the kind of classic ones with a towel and everything, save up their pennies? No, I'm not going to spend it on meths today. I'm going to get a proper old shave.
They get a Jeff Trumper, George Trumper, or Herbie Frog on Jermyn Street.
Exactly.
I think there were quite a lot of coins and hats. Yeah, quite a lot of coins and hats to pay for just one hot towel in one of those places, I think.
I gave generously to a busker the other day, and I don't normally give to buskers, obviously, why would you? But this guy, he had a microphone set up in sort of Oxford Circus or somewhere. He was doing opera, doing proper opera.
That's good.
Yeah, and he was belting it out. Couldn't tell, of course, whether he was just miming to the cassette that he was playing, which seemingly had the music on. Couldn't tell, but I thought, no, do you know what I mean? It's nice to see a busker who's doing opera. You don't see it often.
I saw a busker recently who was doing something different. He was making up songs on the spot about the people who were walking past.
That's classy.
That deserved money. That was great. I gave him about £1.73.
£1.73?
Yeah,
that would have made his day.
A penny at a time, was it? Blink, blink, blink. Yeah.
As accompaniment.
Yes, nice.
I do just carry a little bag of loose change around now, try and get rid of it. I got a lot of 5s and 1s, like I'm going to need them. I'm just breaking into a crisp £50 50 every time I buy something, as you know. So, yeah, I got a lot of loose change. Just give it to the homeless.
To avoid a repeat of the famous "I've only got a £20 note or nothing" kind of extra stuff.
Exactly, which did actually occur to me, and it was very agonising. I've been caught out a number of times. So, just a word to the wise. Sammy, we're going to come to your musical choice, but let's dip back into the musical archive for a second, shall we? Let's have some 808 state. What does a W stand for, out of interest?
William?
Is it William?
I don't know.
You don't know? Jude's got no idea. Crazy mad Jude. And she works here at Six Music. You'd have thought she'd been across stuff like that. Apparently not. That's one of the problems with Six Music. When's there going to be a big party? Get us all together, in the golden days of Radio 1. I imagine he'd be we'd be hanging out with DLT, wouldn't we? And Mayo and Batesy. I've seen Lamac in the back of a van down at Glastonbury. Yeah. That's about as close as I've got
he's
to
an
anything.
angry man, though.
He's not angry. What are we talking about? He's a lovely guy.
He's intense.
No, it's just because he'd been absorbing new music all day. He was full of new music.
He's so intense about music. You can't talk to him about anything else.
He's not interested in anything else. He's not interested in anything else.
Colchester United, yeah, that's the only other thing. But no,
no. He doesn't want to talk about anything other than music. No. Yeah, he's just riddled with music. He's almost arthritic with new music. That's the problem with him.
I was like, Lamo, what about the old weather down at Glasgow? He's like, can't talk. I've got to go and see the Hold Steady on stage 8.
Yeah,
miles away.
And it was grim down there. He doesn't care.
He was just.
Because he's quite a slight and slender man. You'd imagine he would, if he tripped in the mud, he's probably not with anyone because he's just marching off to see bands. He'd be down there, he'd be gone. People would trample over him. You'd never see him back again. He'd be gone. He'd be lost in the mud down there. 6 feet of mud. He'd be fossilised. In years to come, they would dig him up. They would just find this. What's this fossilised Steve Lamac here? This apparently was a pioneer of new music. People often would suffer because of new music in the 21st century. Yeah, and they'd be a martyr of him. Yeah,
they'd still find the CDs in his bony claw that he was holding. That someone had given him to. Oh, Steve, just try this. It's my new band.
In his bony claw. Steve Lamac's bony claw. There's perhaps a column for a newspaper article, or maybe a feature on his show. Steve Lamac's bony claw. What's in my bony claw this week? Oh, it's the new one from. Yeah, interesting. Good. Okay, so anyway, we're going to come to Sammy's musical choice. Sammy, what have you got for us?
In my bony claw, Steve, I've chosen
Steve Lamac's bony claw. I'm going to make a note of that. That is trademark.
I don't think it'll travel well.
No, again, it's a catchphrase. It's not going to catch on.
Anyway, last Sunday night I went to see Mr. Scruff in Sheffield. He's a DJ pioneering trouser jazz.
Okay. What does that mean?
He's kind of invented it himself.
Right.
Acid-y, jazz fusion-y, all sorts of stuff. But it was an amazing. He played for 5 hours.
What?
And at the merch stand you could get tea, cups of tea. It was one of the best gigs I've ever been to.
Did you sit down?
I did for a little while. I had a nice little sit down, but it was very hot because the air conditioning wasn't working and someone had left the radiators on, so that wasn't conducive to a dancing atmosphere. Oh, I know. But it was really good, and he kind of mixes some of his own stuff and he plays some stuff and reworks that. And he played Jigga Jig by the East of Eden, which I played on the show a few weeks ago, and I felt really proud.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to play his probably his most famous piece of work that's been on a few outfits, but if you've never heard of Scruff, it's probably the best song to get into, and I really advise that you do get into him. So this is Get a Move On.
He plays 5 hours of that sort of music. And you were there the whole time?
I was there for about 4 hours of it. I missed the first hour.
Were you with anyone?
Yeah, I was with a lot of people from Sheffield University.
Right. Did you know them previously, or did you just befriend them? Were you one of those weirdos that goes up to people?
I sidled up to many a group of people and made some charming friends who now call me that nutter.
It's interesting because often I'll go to a club or something, and not so much now because obviously they're intimidated by my vast entourage. But in days of yore, you maybe get sort of a backpacker or someone would come up, try and strike up a conversation. Was never interested. Not the sort of person who would welcome an approach from a stranger. Like, I had too many friends as it was. Not interested. You are on the flip of that. You are the person who goes up and befriends people.
I befriend people and I like people befriend me. I'm a very open, loving, giving person.
We know that already. You're a very sweet, sweet woman. Thank you very much indeed for Scruff and his choice. And you don't even use narcotics or booze or anything to get you through 5 hours of music.
Nothing, just pure dance.
Just pure dance.
Yeah.
Well, it's very, very impressive, and I enormously admire you.
Sometimes I'll be honest, a cheeky cola.
A cola of some kind. Thanks for not mentioning any specific brands. Although I think we know which one you like.
Self-edit there, yeah.
Indeed. Okay, I just want to play something from this new Steve Earle album. Earle is, I suppose, in a sense, a sort of godfather of old country, new country, whatever you may call it. And he has an album. I think this features his wife, Alison Moore. This is a track called Days Aren't Long Enough. Steve Earle from his new album Washington Square Serenade. Days aren't long enough. The news is on the way, everyone. Just stay calm. The news is coming, but we can squeeze in the presidency USA. Don't worry, we got time. It's all about music. Presidents of the USA, Peaches from and I just should find out that sometimes I know the dates and sometimes I don't. I've embarrassed myself once again. It's a Steve Show, BBC6 Music, and we're going to go to the news. After that, we'll be delving into the pigeonhole for new releases, plus one of Rufus's choices. Stay with us. AC/DC, of course, Back in Black from the album of the same name from 1980. How many copies did Back in Black, the album, sell, Rufus?
2.4 million.
Sammy?
6.8 million.
We're talking about around the world here, people.
35 million.
40 million copies and counting. Well done. It's apparently one of the best-selling albums of all time.
I haven't got it.
No, neither have I.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought it quite recently.
Really, adding to that list, no doubt. Contributing heartily to that.
To 40,001.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much indeed. This is Steve Show, BBC6 Music, and in an effort to be more culturally aware, more cultured generally, to offer some content to the endless nattering that we normally do on this show, I thought we should go a bit more upmarket, which is why we'll be discussing, books. Heard of them? I have. Used to read them a lot at university and school when I was obliged to. Now, of course, don't bother unless it's perhaps an amusing autobiography, perhaps by, say, Shane Ritchie, who, of course, nice. I know, just kind of being culturally aware, and tell you what I'm going to recommend to you people, right? Movie. Can recommend a movie to you. There's no joke attached. It's a brilliant film. I've lost my way with cinema. I used to be a big cinema movie buff. I found that of late it's not been providing the kind of thrills I can find on TV. The likes of The Wire, The Sopranos, Heroes have been giving me all a buzz. Movies, I'm not finding anything until I went to see, and this one might surprise you, Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton, new movie with Clooney. George Clooney, that's the fella. And I'll tell you, it's an absolute cracker. Oh, it's dynamite. It's in the vein of the old sort of 70s paranoid thrillers, things like All the President's Men and The Parallax View, things like that, and it's absolutely dynamite. It's written by the guy who wrote a lot of the Bourne films, and so it's got that nice kind of edgy paranoid feel about it. Michael Clayton is played by Clooney, and I don't know why I can't remember his name. I love the guy, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's a fixer for a legal firm. He has to kind of go in and mop things up. And anyway, his friend has had a bit of a breakdown. And I'm not going to go into all the elaborate detail, but nevertheless, it's well worth hunting out. Rufus, I can imagine you're a smart guy. It's the sort of film that will be right at the top of your list.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it already. I'm a huge Clooney fan. I think Clooney's a proper old movie star.
He's a proper old movie star in the vintage Clark Gable.
Absolutely,
manner.
Cary Grant. He's got it all, and he's very clever and very switched on politically.
And this is a film that's produced by Soderbergh and that gang, and it's what you might call an adult thriller, and not in the way that you'd find late night Channel 5. Harry, of course, devastated,
momentarily excited.
Yeah, you're thinking of those films perhaps called Illegal Briefs, in which a woman.
They mean pants.
Exactly. Where a woman invariably will have an affair with someone who may or may not be a psychopath.
Brilliant.
And so it's not that. It's a kind of high class thriller for adults. And sadly, has not been a massive success stateside, which worries me. Is Hollywood going to dumb down rather like the BBC has? Except this show, of course, a small oasis of intellectual thought. Sammy, what's been your cultural highlight of recent months and weeks?
It's actually something I'm looking forward to, and it's going to be on Thursday, and it's going to be on BBC 4, and it's The Genius of Photography, and it's about photographs that have really captured a moment or a capsule of time, and by looking at them you know exactly what's going on, exactly what's happening. They're going to go into each photo and into each photographer and explain a bit more, but it looks really exciting.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
And will you and your photography class all be sat around watching?
That'd
be a great little bonding session.
The closeness might be a little overpowering.
It could be, couldn't it?
But I'm certainly going to be viewing that myself, and I shall also, towards the end of this week, be making jewellery out of my own teeth.
Okay.
That's true.
Is it time for more music? Why are you making jewellery from your own teeth?
I'm having a tooth removed tomorrow, and they said I could keep it, so my dad's going to get a little fine drill so I can drill it and keep it on something.
Right. And you're going to wear it as an earring, perhaps?
An earring, or a charm on a bracelet, or...
Not the most charming thing.
Maybe
Add
not.
to a charm bracelet.
Or to fend off ghoulies and goblins and whatnot.
To fend off ghoulies? Well, you'll definitely be fending off ghoulies of all kinds. Why stop at teeth? And put any other, eyeballs...